Call to order, Royal Palm Beach Strikers monthly board meeting, March 15th, 2022. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, welcome everybody. We are waiting on some members that are running behind with the weather and traffic. A roll call. Call to order. What did we say? 6:39 p.m. 6:38 p.m. Roll call. Corinne Corbacero.
Here.
Myself. Malik Hassan. Amanda Lamb.
Here.
Village Liaison Brandon Pendergrass.
Here.
And we are waiting on Treasurer Amy Santiago, who's running a little behind, and Fernando Casale, who's also running a little behind tonight. Reading and approval of the previous month's minutes. I know we had tabled a few of the months, and Corinne, I know, sent out October 2021's minutes. Did each of you have time to look at it? If we can go ahead and put a motion to approve October 2021's minutes. No, can't do that.
Can't do them yet.
Can't do
No.
that. And Amy's right here now. You can't approve. I was thinking of that. Can you do? All righty. Amy Santiago is now present, so we now have a quorum for our meeting. And Amy, while you get yourself situated over there, did you have an opportunity to view the October 2021's minutes that were submitted by Corinne?
Sure.
All righty. So if we can have a motion then.
I motion to approve the October 2021 minutes. I guess I second.
Alrighty, October 2021's monthly board meetings minutes will be approved and accepted. Do you need some time to get situated before we pull up the treasurer's report stuff?
I was going to open it. It's fine. Got it?
Okay, and then Amy, if you can do the recreation portion, treasurer's report, please.
Okay, so for the month of February, the checking account started with $56,608.99, ended with $74,225.05 or 07. I'm sorry, and the savings started $10,670.26, ended with $10,670.59.
Make a motion to accept the February's recreational checking balance at $74,225.07. A motion to accept the savings balance at $10,067.59.
I second that motion.
All right, any objections? We will accept the treasurer's report for the month of February 2022. That's that. President's report, which we skipped over. President's report, the spring season is underway. We've had 2 seasons thus far. 2 weeks? Oh, I'm sorry, 2 weeks thus far. The weather's cooperated with us. Everything appears to be running smoothly. We're still getting some uniforms trickling in for the members that registered very late. Other than that, everything seems to be going very well. Our numbers for the spring season are above pre-COVID numbers, which is excellent. That not only have we rebounded as quickly as we have, but we have gone above and beyond where we normally would be at this time. So thank you to everybody up here for helping make that happen, and obviously to all the members. that are supporting our program and participating with us. Open comments for membership regarding recreation program. I'm going to take this time because it's nowhere else on the agenda. We had received a received a complaint from one of our longtime members who is also a referee in our program regarding the behavior of some of the recreation coaches in our program, more specifically, and one in particular. I appreciate the input from our member. That is something that I, as the director of coaching, will not only look into, but I will address that and handle it accordingly. Everybody else has had an opportunity to read the complaint. We're not going to share that at this meeting simply because of the names that are involved in it, and that's not something we do at board meetings. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add to that?
I'm just gonna, so basically it comes down to reiterating, coaches need to coach, players need to play, parents need to cheer for their kids, and referees need to do their reffing. That's bottom line.
And I believe after the teams are created and I send out a message to all the members regarding, that the teams have been created, coaches will be contacting them. The last sentence or the last paragraph I always add in that thing is let the players play, let the coaches coach, let the referees referee, and let the spectators spectate, for lack of better whatever. But it is what it is. Thank you to the member that had provided the information and his feelings regarding the coaches and the one in particular. And I will do my best to address that and make sure that the season runs without any more issues or any more problems. Unfinished business, spring season, and this is something I wanted to speak to Fernando about. He had contacted me regarding the schedule, seeing if there's an opportunity for us to be able to end the season on May 7th as opposed to May 14th. And my suggestion was that would be great, but how about we just leave it as is so that in the event we have any rain dates or whatever, that May 7th date would be available. As of now, May 7th will be left open, and that will be used as a makeup day. So then this way we end at 5/14 when we had originally planned it. Unless anybody has any objections to that or any other, it would be nice finishing early like that, but at the same time, it would be nice having that latitude to be able to,
Was that the day that we were supposed to host our home tournament?
I believe that's why we had left it like that, and then we were advised that there would be no tournament this season. So,
Well, what's the problem with going ahead and changing it? Because it's our semifinals and finals. Basically, you're pushing the finals back a week. So, I mean, because regular season ends on April 30th or whatever that last of April is. What is that? The regular season ends April 30, I believe,
for the older age groups.
right? 30.
Right now, as is, 5-7
No,
is
the
an
week
empty day.
before. I'm sorry, the week before. The last game is on the 23rd. So the playoffs start on Saturday the 30th.
Yes, and then
And then-
the final round would be on the 14th.
Right, so I'm saying, why can't we go ahead and just,
So they'll have a bye week, so there'll be nothing that weekend.
I mean, if we need to reschedule something, okay, then we push it back. But at this point, why are we gonna, keep people an extra week and, people are gonna start getting into that, summer mode and ending school and stuff or whatever. I don't know.
That schedule's not even going to be put out until like the 21st or anything,
Well,
right?
yeah, the playoffs.
Yeah, we
schedule's
can't do
not
it
gonna
until
be
we know
So-
who's in the playoffs and who's in the finals, etc. I mean, we can think about it,
Well,
but
let's talk to Fernando about that and see what his, right, that's something then, let's talk to him when he's available and we can figure that out.
You might have those kids that they don't have a game that weekend, they're not going to show up the next weekend.
You'd think they'd be practicing that week though, so they'd still be around.
I'm
Maybe.
thinking about the older kids.
All right.
Maybe.
Website updates. This is something I was hoping to talk to Dave about. I just want to make sure that the field status is updated daily, and the content on the website is up to date and relevant, and just making it appear that that our website is actually a resource for our members to go to because they can depend on the information that's on there. New business. Let's see here, and I missed calls from. Is it possible for you to FaceTime or somebody to FaceTime Shinoy? He tried calling in and he agreed to at least be available via FaceTime.
yeah, he said that he was going to try to do that because I had texted him earlier. Hey, we have started our board meeting and we're just adding you here.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, we have Shinoy Ragaraj on via telephone, FaceTime over here. And Shinoy, real quick, registrar referee report for the recreation program.
You guys are on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to listen to you online. Let me just pause that 1 second. That's because you guys seem to be a little bit behind. Hang on. Okay, sorry for that. I had to pause you guys from the live stream. You're a little behind.
Okay.
Referees, other than the issue that you mentioned, nothing else really going on. Registrations for a new referee, I would say, should be held off until August again this year because their season, this year starts back in August. Registrations, everybody is being registered. There's still a lot of glitches with God's Sport, and I am working through each one of those. The competitive, which are the ones there, their registration, they're most pertinent to the system, are all good. It's just the recreation, putting everybody on there. The two age group teams can create a slight problem.
Hey, Shinoy, is there a way for those competitive players, is there a way for them to be added to the competitive program event or program? Like right now, if you were to do program registrations or players and you were to filter it for recreation, they all fall under the spring 2021. However, if you do the same thing for the competitive players, there's only like 30-something players that show for the competitive 2021-2022 season.
That has been the support ticket that's put in because originally when we started last year, everybody was, when I say everybody, all the competitive players, when they registered on the new system, should have automatically gone into that program. Why there's a few in there and there's not, and to avoid a duplication or a billing error, I don't want to manually put them there because they can show up and be dual registered on there, and you're going to get billed twice, and that's God's work. It's not important. It's not an important aspect other than for filtering that they be on there.
Okay, and also, is there a way, and it's mostly on the competitive coaches as opposed to the recreation coaches, is there a way for you to go through and clean it up where there's only one entry per coach And I can go ahead and delete them, but I'm just afraid to do that.
No, don't delete them, because the thing is that the way they design the system is that they are supposed to have those multiple things, because, for example, if you coach 2 or 3 teams, you're supposed to have a profile in each one of those teams, and that's why it's showing up as, like, you registered 3 times. So, for example, you as a DOC who's on every single team, you should show up like whatever amount of teams we have.
40 times.
Trust me, I do not like it, but that's not my.
And then lastly, should we be should our affiliate be FYSA or GOT Sport Client?
No, you want to. Everything should be USYS, not FYSA, not
Or USYS. I'm sorry, USYS.
USYS. However, when you're it's a 2-part thing. When they're first registering, before we like put them on teams and we roster them, you're going to be GOT Sport Client.
So how do we switch everybody up? We just can do the bulk thing on that?
Yes, and I'm doing the bulk things as we finalize teams. I'm still waiting on a few errors to be corrected from GOT Sport. The last, like Jill is out this week. She's on vacation. So, hang on, I'll tell you, Matt was the other guy I was talking to. I'll tell you, I should have some answers from them. One thing I'll tell you, I think Jill comes back on the end of this week, so she'll be back Wednesday. So by Tuesday or Wednesday, should have some more answers from GOT Sport with regards to that, with the converting everybody from GOT Sport Client to USYS.
All right.
On game officials.
All
Not
right.
game, I'm sorry, on GOT Sport. God.
All right,
Sorry.
and then stay on here for a second. We're going to go to new business. You know, the age-old question here with referee payments.
Yep.
It's, you know, rearing its ugly head once again. You know, we're getting a lot of the referees asking if there's a way that we can go back to our old ways of doing things, because I guess a week ago or 2 weeks ago, they say that's like a week behind or a tournament behind.
One of the things that happened is the first week, just because I haven't done it in a while, the system updated, and there's 2-factor authentication now for payments. So what it is, once I process everybody through and they go through on the Monday, it sends me an email and says, "Hey, can you confirm this?" and it sends me a code. I did not realize that, and I did not look at the code for things. So by the time I went to authenticate it, ended up being Wednesday. That code was expired, so I had to wait for them to send me a new code, and that's it. That's the only delay. Everybody from last Saturday got paid. They should have the money in their account today. So it was just a delay on my part. Part of it was just a new system, and everybody from the week, everybody's all caught up and everybody's paid. It's just a new system, a new security feature, because there's been quite a bit of fraud, not on our end or anything like that, but just in the system in general, and that's why there was a delay. But everything is on par now. Everything is good. I just did not realize they didn't send like an email notification, "Hey, there's a new system and you need to verify this."
Alrighty.
So basically, they get paid by usually Monday or Tuesday after the
By
weekend?
By Wednesday, because I wait till
By
Monday
Wednesday.
for Fernando or one of you guys to tell me all the games have been played through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it goes through, and I process it on Monday. You know, usually on Mondays, unless there's Sunday games, then I probably won't process it until Tuesday. That way, you guys can tell me all the scores have been entered. You know, everybody was there, everybody showed up like they should have been. And then I process those out, and they get them within 2 to 3 days. They should have them. If everything is all registered and they did everything on their end, they're good. There's some people who have not still confirmed their bank information. I've told them this, and I've repeated it to them, and I've even sent them emails like, "Hey, you need to confirm your information." So part of it is they have to kind of go in there and say, "Hey, this is correct too." Once. They just have to do it once. So that's the new referees.
Alrighty. All right, and then referee assignments. We just wanted to make sure that we always have at least one senior official for each of the games, whether it's rec or competitive. And preferably for a competitive game, I'd like to have 2 experienced players, 2 experienced referees for the competitive games. I'm all for letting the younger or less experienced referees getting their experience with the competitive games, but, I want to make sure that they have two experienced guys or gals with them that are kind of setting example and teaching them, as they learn.
Yeah, it's I mean, part of the issue is we got quite a bit of events happening right now. This weekend, obviously, oddly enough, you guys don't have anything. There's something else going on, but not last weekend. The weekend before last, there was a Gardens tournament, um, which pretty much sucked up a bunch of referees. There's, everybody else has their bunch of stuff. Between EC and LR stuff like that. So, in as much as we try to get the more experienced ones here, um, it doesn't always work out that way.
Alrighty. Does anybody else have anything for Shinoy? Alrighty. Shinoy, if you can just kind of hang out for a little bit until we get to the competitive portion, or we can give you a call back, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, why don't you guys call me back because I'm watching it on the live stream, but it's behind. So.
Alrighty. Okay,
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Alrighty. Trophies. I'm gonna have Amanda lead up on this. Amanda had submitted to the board a quote that she had received from our existing vendor. Her prices appeared to be a little heavy, so we had asked her to kind of shop around a little bit and see what else was out there. I have since spoken to our vendor, and he kind of explained some things to me. And Amanda, if you want to kind of let us know where we're at with that.
So I did call two different vendors in addition to the one that we normally had. I did receive one quote back. It was slightly lower, but it was also for less significant trophies and less, as far as like height and materials used. So I really feel that even with what he discussed with me, our current vendor, that where we are is pretty much pretty good, and we should move forward with that. Our current vendor did say if he wanted us to come in and kind of give us an idea if we wanted to go lower priced, he could kind of give us some options. So one of the big things that he did say that changes the pricing for the trophies is we always put our logo on everything, so that's going to add $1 to almost each piece. And then our trophies also have with the cups, right? And then also the base. So right now we're using a marble base to give it weight so that it stands up and it doesn't topple over. The place online, which was one of the reasons that it was less expensive, it was a plastic base. And again, the height of the trophy, because we do include, strikers in the cup usually, that the height was not anywhere near the same. And it was, the price was not at all better for what the quality of what it was. So really.
All right. Was the order submitted?
Yes, I gave him final numbers, and he said he's going to work with some other things and see if he can bring it down a little bit more. And then he would let me know.
All right. Good.
We can check out other vendors when if we go to AGM this year too, because I know I've definitely seen trophy people out there.
No, we get bombarded with the whole trophy thing. I mean, we've been using, this vendor since I've been around, and I mean, never a complaint with the quality of the trophies.
I think one year they were
he's
a little
very-
too big and
Yeah,
the wind blew
he's
him
very,
over.
but he's very helpful and accommodating to us. The price just seems like it's getting up there.
Is it going up every year?
I don't know if it's going up, but that I've never been involved in trophies whatsoever.
He did tell me that when he was working with Sean, that they always agreed to it being in the price range that we're in right now. So even in previous years, he's been in that same price point.
All right. All righty.
So.
All right. Done deal. Reminder to the board members and for us to, this is something where this is like really important, guys. And, as a board member, one of the expectations of a board member is to attend our recreation games and, be there on Saturdays. to address problems, to socialize with the members, to become familiar with, the players, to help, in evaluating, and just, you'll have a face to the board, let people know that people on the board, they're out here supporting the program. They're not just these people that sit off in the dark, and they're totally unattached, and they can't relate to anything that's going on, to anything, and it's important for us to be out there. I also understand it's not possible or reasonable to ask anyone or expect anyone to be there every Saturday. Things come up. Myself as a coach, I'm sometimes unable to attend because of my game schedules. I was in Tampa the first week of the rec season, so obviously I was unavailable for that. But I actually enjoy being out there and just seeing the kids play, and speaking to the parents, and being able to address any situations or problems that might occur before they become problems. And here we get this complaint about the refereeing that weekend, and I wasn't there that weekend, and it's like, maybe that could have been nipped in, whatever, but it's but one of the things that I'd like us also to kind of enforce out there is sideline personnel. Other than the coach and or assistant coach, there should be nobody else on that sideline other than those coaches and the players. I don't even want managers over there. All right.
Didn't they used to distribute snacks and stuff? Or?
Used to, but walking over at halftime and handing it out, that's one different thing as opposed to sitting there and just constantly interacting with the kids. And again, there's a reason that we have those rules in place. Background checks, and heads up concussion protocol, and safe sport requirements.
Wasn't
And
that a requirement for team managers too?
yes, but because of this new system,
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the right way of saying this without it sounding bad. With this GOT sport system, because it's so difficult, all I want are coaches and assistant coaches to be on the sidelines so that nobody else has to go through those requirements, and we don't have to create accounts for any of the other people until we actually understand what we're doing.
Right.
So,
Is that for rec and for travel?
no, for competitive is different. Because competitive, we can manage that more because it's much smaller.
So I don't know that there's a manager though in rec. So there's team mom, which would be a little bit different.
It's the same
But
thing
it's
as a
the
team
same-
manager.
Yeah, same thing.
without
Okay.
the manager, though.
Okay.
Same thing.
All right. Yeah, with the competitive
I just
program, there's a
understand.
handful. You talk about a dozen, actually less than a dozen, because there's double up on teams. So about 10 managers, along with the coaches. So it's very manageable to do that. But just let's remind people, and that's the whole purpose that we issue the coaches' jerseys for, so that we're able to identify those people who've
And
gone through
a
the
lot of the
process.
older games, the older groups, a lot of the kids like to hang out and watch and stay on the sidelines. So those kids, do we?
Can't be there because you know what? Let's say something on the field escalates between two players.
Mhm.
Now all of a sudden you have additional people that can get involved in something, and then we're again. And if anybody has an issue with it, and I'm at the field, just tell them, hey, go talk to Mel about that, and I'll explain it a little bit more thoroughly. All right. Anybody like to make a motion to adjourn the recreation program portion of the board meeting program?
I make a motion to adjourn the recreation portion of the meeting at 7:07 p.m.
I second that motion.
All righty. Any objections? All righty. Recreation portion of the board meeting is adjourned, and call to order the competitive program at, what do you say, 7:07
07.
p.m. President's report and DOC report. I think I tutored our horn at the last board meeting, praising the competitive teams on the success that they had had during the regular season of league play, and how that, I think it was all but two of our teams were playing for first place going into the last weekend, which I thought was great. I will continue to toot our horn with regards to state competitions. Our U15 boys team was able to advance from the Commissioner's Cup challenge round, and they advanced to the knockout round, which is the elimination round, before they were ultimately defeated and knocked out. Our U16 boys team is currently in the President's Cup, and they have advanced to the final 16 in the state, and they will be playing in 2 weeks. Hopefully they can continue to advance there. And our U17 girls team in the Commissioner Cup, they're actually competing in the region finals, which is awesome. So not too shabby, not too shabby. And hopefully we can continue with the success of not only those teams, but with the other teams that we have in our program. And, you know, real pleased with the way things are going here. And I'd just like to continue this.
Don't forget those U12 boys that just took the Palm Beach Gardens tournament first place.
That's right. Also, but this was state tournaments I was talking about. With regards to tournament play, our U12 boys team was able to win the Palm Beach Gardens Spring Classic tournament, which was excellent. And I believe our U10 boys lost in the finals on penalty kicks, which was a bummer. And the 11s also made it to the finals in that same tournament. So congratulations to all the teams. Treasurer's report for the competitive program. Amy.
Okay, so for the month of February, the competitive checking started at 128,768.94, ended with 126,472.94. The savings started at $10,028.41, ended $10,028.72. The stipend started at $19,750, ended with $18,350.
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report for the month of February for the competitive checking balance at $126,472.94. The February balance of the savings account at $10,028.72, and the stipend account, at $18,350.
I second that.
Any objections? All right, we will accept and approve the treasurer's report for February 2021 for the competitive program. 2022, I'm sorry. Open comments for membership, nothing. All righty, unfinished business. We're just going to skip down, and again, it's if you know what, there's really no need to even give Shinoy a call back, because this was already addressed with the referee assignments. We desire to have for the recreation games at least one senior referee for each game, and for the competitive games, if at all possible, two very experienced senior referees to be on each game also. Fernando Casale is also present, and if we can jump back real quick, and I know this is kind of going out of order. If we, despite the fact that we're on the competitive portion of the board meeting, just wanted to address something quickly regarding the recreation program with what we had discussed previously about the final game weekend. The options were May 7th or May 14th.
Right now, yes.
Okay, and currently, the way it's set up is it would end on May 14th because we are planning on that tournament May 7th, correct?
Correct.
So you had
Yep.
suggested possibly instead of May 14th, pushing the last game up to May 7th?
Correct. And the only I need to do that is just move the U6 and U8 because all the other division because they have playoff, I need to do the schedule at that time.
All
So
right.
the only I need to reschedule right now is U8 and U6. They already have games on the 14th. So we need to move it to the 7th and just advise U6 and U8 coaches that we change the date of the last game. For the other divisions, don't matter because the last two games are no schedule. All the playoffs are no schedule, and do we play the last game?
Okay, one of my concerns is that gap that's going to exist between the end of the rec season and tryouts for the competitive season.
Okay.
My concern is that there's such a gap between that you kind of lose that
Is there a stipulation that we have to wait
no
to the first week of June to have tryouts?
no, and that's something we have on the board meeting. I was discussing that with Amanda, and that's
just do
something
it
I'm going to
earlier.
look into either doing it the first week of June or the last week of May. May 30th is Memorial Day, so if we have it on that weekend, it
We
would
had
be.
the weekend before.
If we have it on that weekend, it would be the 31st to the 3rd, I think it was. May 31st to June 3rd. If we go a week prior,
That's gonna be the
May
21st.
23rd to May 27th. Problem with that, you have to remember, people still belong to other clubs. And even though it's all right to do that, you may not get that turnout because,
They
you
have
know,
that last game at their
you know,
last
you're
tournament
gonna,
for
they're
that
gonna be
Memorial Day
practicing,
weekend.
they're gonna be practicing for their Memorial Day weekend tournament. So you might not get that turnout that you want. Then that's another concern.
If we have tryouts 2 different weekends,
Yeah, can we host them in?
Have 2
Nice.
weeks, but boy, I really hate to stretch tryouts for 2 weeks. You know, that's overkill. I mean, let's be realistic. You know, 10 minutes each day is all you really need.
the only you need
That's
to see
all
is
I need to.
you
look
need to
at
have
something.
the players that already kind of make the team show up the second weekend and just see the new players. That's the only you need to see.
But the new players will most likely are with the other existing clubs, existing teams, and they may not be able to attend because of.
How many of
commitment.
those
Oh, that's
actually show
that's the
up?
same problem that we have every trial.
Well, we got a little bit to think about that. So let me play around with it and let me see. Let me try to figure something out with that. But those are going to be the 2 options. So with the recreation season schedule, we're sitting at either May 7th or May 14th. Let's say that within the next week, as a board, we decide on that. And
The only problem we have right now is we're gonna have the first part of the playoff on April 30, and we're gonna have the next weekend off.
and then the finals.
So technically, the teams that play the finals is gonna have 2 weeks
What
to
happens
practice.
to those little 3v3 tournaments or 4v4 tournaments that we've talked about in the past? Can we host one of those small tournaments?
Yeah,
that we
but
do?
like with
Just
our
for, like,
fields,
our club.
I know, but with our fields, I just want to get through this season
Correct.
with as minimal usage of the fields as possible. I mean, they just can't
I'm just saying
handle it.
to hold up that weekend so there's not such a space between
no.
the competitive tryouts and league games.
I don't think this year would be good for that. Like I said, it's not. Again, I mean, the fields are bad.
I mean, the one weekend's not gonna.
The other, my other concern, which I brought up to Mal, was if we host it the last or like the weekend following Memorial Day because school finishes before, there are a lot of people and families that have already started talking about vacations and stuff like that. So we might miss a bunch of kids for that purpose.
Well, that's
also.
what I was thinking of. The 14th.
So what day is school finish?
The 26th of May,
The 26th of May.
the Thursday.
26th. So the before Memorial Day. what we can do is, we can discuss that, or we can just throw ideas out there.
Can we host like an end of season party like we did that one time where it was preseason, where we did like the games and stuff?
I'm sorry.
Remember we did that one year we had the games and stuff at the fields where it was preseason. We did it before the fall season, I think, where we had gotten like the balls for the.
Yeah, that was
So we could do
before.
something end of season.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that was. Like,
That was when this was fun.
that was
when
pre-COVID.
This was fun.
I know. Well, it's like as a thank you to our members of like for hosting something, and it still gets people at the field, and it won't really kill the fields.
I know Vanessa was planning on something with that prior to the COVID stuff. She actually had a bunch of things set up. We can talk to her and see, get
Okay.
her input on that. All right. Record event. For the whole club? All right, go ahead, since we're all over the place.
I
anyways.
know. If you wanted an event to fill that and to also profit the club, what about if we hold like a club-wide garage sale in the parking lot? And all proceeds go to the club.
Who's putting
That would
out their
be
junk?
something that
Anybody
Brandon
any
would
of the
have
teams,
to
like any
provide some
team,
input on.
any rec people, any rec or travel people, anything like that. But all the money with the understanding that they're donating their items, and then all the money is going to profit the club.
Well, I mean, I'm
And then
okay
you're
with that on
using-
the rec side, but for competitive, I think that if the teams put something together, they should be able to apply that toward their next season.
That's not a bad idea either.
Mhm.
Just a fundraiser. I mean, I was trying to brainstorm, I'll be honest with you, ways to pay for tents for teams. So if we had this garage sale,
Just beg for money.
Beg for money.
I mean, it's probably going to be really hot and miserable, but at the same time, it's showing a sense of community. It's bringing everybody together. It's bringing them to the field. We're not using the fields, and then it's making hopefully money.
The only way the competitive thing would work is if it's done after the selection of teams next year, because nobody's going to want to participate in that because they might not be coming back, or whatever. So
I mean, I think it would just.
Would we just need a permit for that?
that's a special event thing, right?
Yeah, that'll be a special event.
All right.
I mean, just
More
an idea
paperwork for
to.
me. It's all right.
For you or me? I'm the secretary, right?
How many of you filled out?
I partially won. It never got processed.
Something along those lines, whatever it may be. I don't know. Just some type of fundraiser is all I was looking at to
Hello,
try to figure
carnival
out.
would be fun.
All right. Yeah. See that would be cool. I mean, that would be. It's
And
just.
set up games
I
in
just.
the parking lot.
In the parking lot, right? Same type
Dunk
of thing,
tank.
and do
Dunk
tickets and
tank.
TLC
paint
dunk
down
tank.
racing.
that
Oh,
would be-
dunk
that
tank.
would
Oh
be
yeah.
fun. But
Coaches, get the
again,
coaches in
is
there.
That,
Oh,
but
yeah.
but again, is that done at the beginning of the season or at the end of the season?
I think it should be. I think we should test it at the end, and like I said, thank you. But you still pay for like games and stuff. But like some of the stuff will be offered for free.
I'm just.
Throw them out in the water.
No,
See,
I'm
and
just.
for free.
My concern is that
Pie in the face.
it's going to be so crazy with the tryout stuff, and now you're throwing another event in there.
Well, the
That's-
tryout stuff is not. Well, I'm saying we still have that May 14th open, possibly.
She's talking about to cover the day that we
The weekend.
7 or the 14th. Throw something there.
Our fields aren't getting used, so it's not hurting the fields.
And it's getting everybody together.
I will support it if you guys take care of it all. That's if you guys want to put it together.
We can distribute,
I mean,
tasks.
we would be allowed to have food trucks just like you guys do at movie night, right? As
Yeah.
long as they're part of your approved vendor list.
Well, even to be part of that, all we need from them is a certificate of liability,
Okay.
naming the Village of Royal Palm additionally insured. But like Miles said, we need that special event permit. So if we get the special event permit application in and approved, and food trucks are listed on there, and whatever, everything just be detailed on there.
Is that 2
it-
weeks prior to the event? Is that
45 days.
45 days?
I don't know. I mean, you could do
45
food
days.
trucks. You could have 4 or 5 food trucks on that
Okay.
back parking lot, and then do all the carnival stuff. By the center there, and then you have,
That 1
don't
week-
worry about,
one
you're
week- 1 to
giving
2 weeks.
business to, you know, people in our community or some of our teammates or whatever, and
All right. I mean,
So we have pretty much
run
2
with it.
weeks to put that together if we're gonna do it.
okay.
All right, good, good. All right, back on track. Back to the agenda for the competitive program. As I stated, it's important for board members to be at the field. Also, I will be sending something out to the coaches and managers of the competitive teams, stating that I would like for them to be attending Saturdays at CATS as much as possible so that they can identify and evaluate the rec players. I mean, what better form of a tryout? Like you're watching them. You've got weeks to watch someone. I mean, it's uh-huh. And on flyers and social media material. I know Amanda said that she was playing around with some things. This is something I'd like Dave to get involved in. I know that Diego has stepped up for the last couple of seasons, puts together these really nice things. He takes, the pictures of the teams, action pictures, whatever, puts them on whatever, and writes some words on it. Like then we have like 3 or 4 of them that we send out. One might have like a U10 team on it. One might have like an older boys team, a girls team, but so everybody's getting a little of something sent out to them. So we need to start. I don't know. Would you like to get in touch with Diego on that one and just say that I'd like to get started a lot earlier this season where we're not scrambling around? And signs, we need to find signs, and I forget who it was. Were you the one talking to me about the sturdy signs? Who was talking to me about? No, very sturdy, durable signs, similar to the ones that we
I
have.
think we talked about Saturday in the concession, but I don't remember.
Was that you that we were talking to? Who was that?
Yeah, but I don't give you any information. So
No, somebody was saying that well, whatever, the signs that we have right now, those very heavy ones that we use for tryouts,
For the field numbers?
but I'd like some new ones made. Like maybe,
We were talking
Keep-
about
keep
having
the-
ones that tag onto
keep
the
the-
goals, no?
but I'm saying keep the posts, the iron, whatever they're made of, and
You know
have
what?
a sign
No,
person
you know
make
what we
similar
need to have?
signs.
We need to have that kind of stuff that you want, but we need to have some way to change the
Slip it in and out.
correct. So you
Where
can
you can just flip it.
whatever. So you can put it, change it, whatever. So you don't need to buy new. Oh, you don't need to buy a new one every time.
All right.
You don't need to buy. You buy and you change it in the middle. Make sense?
Yeah, but remember, you're gonna need them on each field.
No, but I understand. But like a girls, normally we don't have 7 or 8 teams. So you have 2, 3, or 4, whatever. You can buy
Just the thing to put on there.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
and when you need it next time, you just
So if anybody has any suggestions for sign company people, let's look into that and we'll get on the ball for that also, in addition to something to put for the goals. I don't think anything will. I go back and forth if I want something on the net. And I just think it's not going to last long. And then if it's not on the net and it's like behind the goal, that's good too, but that's one extra thing that's going to have to be removed all the time. Whether it's, for safety or for the lawn people, that's another thing we're going to have to move out of the way. Just on the netting,
It's not something.
the sign on the netting, just with the field number.
I like it.
All right.
But the problem we're gonna need to have at least 2 or 4 per field, 2 in each goal.
Maybe we, yeah, I mean, I don't think that would be expensive, so even if they did get whatever. Well, we can look for that with the signs again, so if anybody,
It can be
knows
the
many people.
same style signs, We just put in the net. The seat ties or whatever.
Yeah, but the signs, I want the signs like durable,
I know
like
they want metal.
metal.
But I'm talking about the other material for the fields.
Either that, or if we can have a directory put in, like when you walk into the fields, where they have like a square sign that shows you what fields are where. That's the only
Yeah, I've
other way
seen
to.
that in other tournaments and stuff. They have a layout of the field like how we do on our showing the rec practices. We had something posted somewhere near a concession or wherever.
It'd be like a bulletin board type of thing, where you can even stick the tryouts, competitive
So let
tryouts
me
in
ask you
there
something
that's
like that.
covered.
We need to provide or the city need to provide?
I was just thinking about that when you were saying that. I'll look into that to see if that's something that we'll provide there.
All right.
Or vice versa. 'Cause I know we have some around at different parks.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice if we have one like in the concession and one by field number 8.
Yeah,
Because a lot
right
of
when
people,
you first.
a lot of people walking there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ideally, you'd want it right, the sidewalk by the concession stand.
I know, but like I told you, a lot of people,
Some people
just
park
walking
right
for
when they
field
first
A,
walk
or
in.
the little ones.
They-
U6 and U8, they never came
Oh,
to the
way
concession.
over the
Yeah.
got you,
We
got you.
had two.
Even if it's one of the smaller ones, like, at the nature parks where it's just at the height of the fence and then it's flat so people can look right there, especially for the younger kids, the flat one might be nice because then they can see it too. I mean, not the,
I know. So they look right down on it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like at the nature preserves that, that they have them and
Mhm.
tells you all about what you're seeing and all that.
Yeah, I'll look into that on our end to see if that's something we can provide. That.
Alrighty.
A lot easier than having the signage to do.
Yeah. And then we can change out stuff all the time, like she's saying. We can put competitive stuff there. We can put rec stuff.
All right, and the last thing on here was the tryout dates, which let me do a little research on that and see what we can do for that. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add?
Yeah, sorry I'm late. I just want to check the status of the field.
Uh,
Like a field 2, what's the plan?
the plan is I've already we discussed no games during spring break, which you said there aren't any games on
Next
spring
week
break.
we have games in field
So
2.
that's perfect.
Can we
um,
send something so we avoid practice in that field 2?
Well, what I told a lot of the rec coaches is that it's up to them whether they want to practice or not during spring break. So before I came here tonight, I went out there, and there were 2 teams in the entire park at 5:45. Unfortunately, one of them was on field 2, but
Last night when I was there was only
Well, you can
Emma's
send
team
a
was the only team.
message and say try to
Yeah.
avoid those fields if it's open on the other side.
Mel, do we need to have any approval for the cameras if we decided to put any kind of cameras? Can we put cameras?
I would assume like we would need to get
Yeah.
some kind of approval.
The ring camera,
Mm-hmm.
so we can.
That's something you guys would have to approve. I would
Have to
think.
approve it, yeah.
That would.
What we need to do to get that approved?
I have to look into it, see what we have to do.
And is there a backup number? Is that one number?
Yeah,
There is not a backup number.
the problem we have with the number. I told you, I call in already 3 or 4 different weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody answered the number, and I told you I call in 5, 6, 10 times in a row.
Nobody
You
answered.
cannot
it.
leave a message, and nobody answered.
Mhm.
So something happened in the fields. I mean, nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Last time that happened is when we are in a tournament in Jupiter,
Mm-hmm.
and we find out it's like a 30 people in cats, and we try to call the number. So like Vanessa and myself try to call I don't know. I call in like 6, 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
The
You cannot
one
leave a
time that I
message, nobody
called-
answers, so it's.
Yeah, the one time I called, that there was an answer, but that was after the initial we have an issue, whatever, and then I don't know if you talked to somebody, and then the
Yeah,
next
'cause
time
they're-
when I called, they answered.
They're
so.
supposed to have it all times. We talked about when it wasn't being answered.
And I told you cannot leave a message neither, so it's not like somebody can call you back, nothing.
No, they're supposed to have it on them to be able to pick up. So typically, because I've had it happen just with other sports, and I'll call it just to try to get somebody on, miss a call, and typically I'll get a call back. In your instance, I don't know what the issue was, but I did talk to them about it, and somebody's supposed to have that phone on them all times. Sometimes I think there might be a lag. If it's a Sunday, Sunday late afternoons, Typically, we have somebody full time in all the time,
'Cause
Monday
that's
through.
normally, that's game day.
So
For them.
for them, yeah. So Sunday,
That's my other question.
Yeah.
If it's a Sunday that we don't have games, can the village close the field?
Probably not. It's a
No?
public, it's a
because
public.
it's a public park.
So we can't
Um,
lock it, yeah.
Yeah, and that
So anybody can play.
no,
Unless we're on it, but like it really should, public park, I would think means like, like a dad with his kids or a couple of kids out there, whatever. But this is like an organized every week thing. It's like they should be paying for the use of, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
well, let's if you can get me days, let's say like a weekend, let's say a Sunday, there's no games, nothing, really nobody should be out there. If I can kind of know those days, what I can do is I can look and see if we can get the fields, locked up on those days. You still have the, walking access in, of course, but
and they'll park out there and they'll all walk out. I mean, it's,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now if you have 30 people, they're gonna park in the basketball court and walking there. It's more make it difficult.
Yeah.
You know.
and with the, like I said, with the gates being locked, we have more of a stance to, be able to say something a lot of times. And I'll be honest with you, if there's nobody out there and there's a group out there, our guys will go out there and they'll fight with them. And if they don't want to leave, they'll call PBSO out. There's a good chance that if there's nobody out in the fields, and I've had our guys tell me this, they kind of look at them and say, well, I mean, nobody's out here.
Well, the problem is them tearing up the fields.
No, that,
And
but
not only
that's
the fields, also
that's
the goals.
that's fields citywide. So don't. It's not
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
them tearing up there. We have over at Seminole Palms.
Mhm.
We're facing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's unpermitted use. Is the worst thing for our fields right now. So the problem is too, we don't have set park rangers. Our staff, even part-time staff on the weekends, they're not set as park rangers. They're not set as, permit checks on and off the field, making sure they can enforce those rules. That's just not their full job title. It's something that we've been trying to get in place and to get installed, because that would eliminate a lot of this. Somebody that's just dedicated for that for us. We've been trying to do it, and we've been still pushing towards that. But again, if there's, like I said, the weekends that we can, find out and know that there's no games, practices going on out there, then we can look at getting them locked up. That way, if there's somebody out there, hey, the fields and the park is closed, now we can really have a case of fighting and get them out there if the PBSO comes out.
This is, a suggestion. I know that this is probably a bit costly, but any chance of like chain link fences around the fields?
Not all the way around. They won't go all the way around. I have to go back and double check. We have something in the strategic plan for chain link fences going around the park, to be able to lock and restrict access when we need. That's something that we've actually talked about with our strategic plan. I don't think it's around the fields, per se, but I have to look at that. But I know chain link fences around cats is something that we were talking about.
If we had turf, that wouldn't be a problem, right?
Oh, trust me.
Turf, I would think would have fences.
Well, turf,
No,
like, it wouldn't
if-
destroy the field.
Yeah, but I would think you would want to keep people off that.
Somebody
Yeah.
belong
riding
out there,
bikes.
too.
But
I mean,
I mean, that's the main case when we go in and fight for turf. Like, every time a new issue, I just give you an example. We came back and we looked and we see some a spot kicked up on field 2. 2 weeks prior, field 2 looked great. New side looked like it was catching. Everything was good. Fast forward and you see some spots kicking up. Hey, look, see, we need turf. This is one of the things that. So every time an issue comes up, that's being brought up. But is it, financially something that the village is going to want to do?
gotta keep up with the Joneses, man. Gotta keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah. It's
I don't know,
it's
so
a
we'll
lot
put
of
new
factors that
bathrooms
play
or
with it,
turf?
but it's a lot of factors that play with it, but I can tell you it is just from several people, and myself included. I can tell you, I can really only tell you for myself, it's being pushed. So every time I get the chance to bring up or put it, when I submit my reports, my strategic plan, turf is the first thing that I'm mentioning in. I hope we can do it, but
I know it's a big investment. Like I said, it's just want to look long term.
yeah,
You know, I think I think the approach that everybody's taking right now is like too short term. Let's just like fix the problem, and it's almost like a let's just keep getting by.
well,
That keep getting by is adding up
The money keeps on
to
getting
the point where, boy, if you take a hit for 3-4 years, after that 3-4 years, we're probably sitting in a really good place here. Not to mention the additional revenue that we could bring in because hosting tournaments or whatever.
Yeah.
Because of the nice facilities we have, that would attract the people over here.
and like I said, there's no closure times now. There's no shutdown. There's no maintenance. The maintenance is just ongoing. As
Vacuum
is.
cleaner.
Yeah, I mean they. Trust me, looked it up. They got your big roller brushes. You put in your tractors and you roll them. Just to redistribute the beads out. But
What do they last normally? Like about 10 years?
10
or so?
years. Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. I think it's like 1.2 a field. To get it down. So, but yeah, 10 years is the shelf life on it.
Oh, that's wishful thinking. Our fingers are crossed on that one. Um,
Can
have
I
another
say
question,
something
ma'am,
real
sorry.
quick too?
Remember asking you Saturday about the little fence between Little Fields and the U10 and U12?
yes.
So I don't know if that's an option or not.
I
I'm more
think-
worried about the little kids, get hit by.
Yeah.
I know that we always have it, so that's why.
It just makes everything look because they don't last. They get destroyed. He's talking about the
The
what is
plastic
it,
fence that
orange,
you guys put
the
between
orange or red fencing, the plastic fencing.
To go between the
3, 4, and 5, 6.
yeah. I know
Is
what
there,
you're
is there a
talking
way to put something down in between 5 and
Yeah, we should be able to get
5
something.
and 7.
3, 4, 5? Yeah. So 5 and 6, and then the other one
3, 4.
7 and 8.
No, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
5, 6, 7, 8.
So
Between zone C and zone D. That's
Gotcha.
all right.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, we should be able to get something to go on between those, to go all the way down.
It prevents the balls from rolling into the other fields and all that stuff, and maybe kid doesn't get knocked out.
And listen, you
with
don't
a
need to.
shot.
You don't need to have all the way. Well, maybe it's easy go all the way straight. You can cut it, where it's field 3 and 4, and have a gap so people walking between the fields.
Yeah.
Because people's kind of jumping, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If
Because
there's if there's a little portion where they can walk, like in between field
3
3
and
and 4, then they
Okay.
won't have to try to step over the fence because that's what kills it.
That's what breaks it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you put a piece, just field 3 and stop.
Mhm.
I don't know, 5. 10.
So go parallel to the end line for field 3
Mhm.
and parallel to the end line of field 4.
Okay. Then just leave that gap in the middle. All right.
That gap in the middle there, so then there's no excuse for anybody having to jump over them.
Yeah, correct. So they can walk in, when they come in from,
That's a great idea.
from the parking lot, the other parking lot.
Okay. Yeah, we can get something down.
Can we check and see potholes and stuff in some of the fields? Like I think on field 5, I believe.
3.
5.
You were the one that sent me that.
Right.
The
About
one
the-
I
about the
copied
hole?
and pasted-
Yeah.
pasted to you. Yeah.
That's not 3?
I sent
Did
that
you?
to
U12? That's another U12?
Said on
yeah,
field
it's
5.
field
He said field 5 closer to field 3.
Right.
Okay. I was gonna say that's something
Like over that.
that's
Field 5
something
is
they're
the
supposed to be
little ones.
walking this week.
6 at U8? You talking about? Or you talking about U12?
Maybe it's on that half of field 3. Yeah.
So
on
it's a
that,
U12
Right.
field.
So it's
right.
on
Yes, Yes.
3,
I
closer
think
to
I see.
field
I
5.
think I saw
Yes.
something like that in
Right.
inside the box.
I know what you're
Yes.
talking about.
Yeah, like it's closer towards where we would put up the goal
Yes.
on field
It's
3.
in the box.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, those spots. I told the guys we need to go out and we need to fill holes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are. Some of them are coming from the sprinkler heads, and for whatever reason now
Sucks it all
they're
up.
sucking it all up and it's creating that divot. But they're supposed to go in and pack those holes back in and fill them up.
Oh, blacktop. Let's use some blacktop out there. Fill those, patch those holes.
This week would be a good week to do it too.
No, but this week they are going out. All the holes that are out there, they're
Great.
supposed to be filling with a thicker mixture, just to be able to hold in.
Good. Thank you.
Now, can you send an email to everybody on rec and competitive about no practice in field 2 this week and next week? Well, next.
And next week?
No, well, this week.
This week.
Yeah, this week.
So Wednesday and Thursday, basically. Because nobody's going to be out there Friday.
Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah.
All right. Is it good?
Oh,
Let-
just
let
in
it
case,
pour.
you know, just
Let it
to-
pour, man. All right, we are good. Just for the record, you guys kept the meeting going this time. It wasn't me.
Sean wasn't here.
Anybody would like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the competitive portion of the board meeting at 7:44 p.m.
I second that.
All righty, we are adjourned.